Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Yacono. Amanda Hill is off tonight. From a man who is awaiting the birth of his first child and concerned now about its future health, to a leader of Brunswick's town government pushing for more action, locals sounded off this afternoon at the board that is overseeing the Brunswick Executive Airport, where that toxic firefighting foam spill happened just a month ago. Well, today that board, the Midcoast Regional Redevelopment Authority, held an emergency public meeting to address the questions and the anxiety that the spill caused. The foam contained PFAS chemicals, which don't break down easily and have been linked to some cancers. MIRA board chair Nick Nichols told the audience the board understands their concerns about their drinking water and said MIRA is working to replace current fire suppression systems at that hangar as well as others at the airport, but that will take time and millions of dollars.
In the past few weeks, we've taken steps to engage the state fire marshal and the Brunswick Fire Department to explore safer alternatives for fire suppression in the hangars. We've provided studies from the U.S. Air Force supporting the use of high-pressure water systems in place of the foam, and are working with knowledgeable contractors to develop a new fire suppression system that meets the necessary safety standards but doesn't rely on PFAS-based foam.
That spill happened at what's called Hangar 4, but the Brunswick Fire Department says inspectors also flagged Hangars 5 and 6 for system deficiencies during last year's inspection. Just yesterday, the Brunswick Fire Department issued a violation notice to MIRA for not having already fixed those issues. News Center Maine's Sam Olson has the latest.
This is the first time that we've responded out to the hangars on the base for a foam release like that.
And Brunswick Deputy Fire Chief Josh Sheehan says it could have been avoided.
In the case of these hangars, they were not compliant with the code mandates.
According to the notice of violation, Sheehan wrote that the Midcoast Regional Redevelopment Authority hasn't provided any documentation that repairs to these systems were ever made. Sheehan says the system's alarm devices like horn strobes were not working in one hangar and flame detectors were covered in another. So the town decided to issue violations in light of the recent PFAS spill.
Not only does that ensure that the repairs are done, but it also brings us in so that we get more follow-up information in the future.
The department recommends the agency works with a fire protection engineer to figure out a long-term plan for the hangars if it finds the system needs significant maintenance.
We want to make sure that they have a course in place to get the systems put back online and then adherence to that plan.
MIRA's executive director Christine Logan says inspectors will be looking at hangars 5 and 6 starting Monday.
We issued the notice of violation with working with the town's attorney, again, to try and to mirror that transparency that we're looking for.
It's transparency and accountability, town officials say, has been lacking in the wake of the agency's recent failings. In Brunswick, Sam Olson, News Center, Maine.
The agency must submit its corrective action plan to the fire department by September 30th. Meanwhile, another town is working on getting PFAS out of its drinking water. The Hollowell Water District says while it does that, customers can fill up on PFAS-free water at a spigot located at the district's office. So about 20 people are coming to the Water District office on Winthrop Street every day to pick up clean water. The spigot was installed earlier this year after testing showed levels of the compounds in the public water below the current state standards, but higher than new federal limits that go into effect in 2029. The district plans to build a $10 million water treatment facility on the site of the district's wells along the Kennebec River. The source of the contamination comes from the river, which partially replenishes an aquifer the city uses for public water.
This is a whole new standard that's been come out in the last 2 years, and we're trying to stay as far ahead of it as we can. It's just it takes time to build these treatment plants and to get up to snuff.
The district has more than 900 customers. The PFAS-free water will be available until the new treatment plant comes online late 2027. A man accused of shooting and killing a woman in Portland stood in front of a judge this morning asking for bail as he awaits his trial. Aaron Karp is accused of killing Susan McHugh of Gray during an altercation on Forest Ave in July. During the hearing, a state prosecutor laid out evidence that Karp allegedly belongs to a motorcycle gang known as the Outlaws, which is associated with criminal activity. Karp's attorney, Vern Parody, is arguing Karp's lack of criminal history, speculation about the Outlaws, and the fact that he turned himself in should be taken into consideration.
Just because their name is the Outlaws is an outlaw. These folks do charity motorcycle runs.
The seriousness of the offense is as serious as we get. And the nature and evidence against Mr. Karp is significant.
The judge, by the way, expects to rule on Karp's bail in the coming weeks. We have an update tonight on a story we brought you right here yesterday evening about that school bus in New Gloucester that police were told had some sort of suspicious device on board. Well, the driver and the kids were taken off the bus and it was swept by canines. No device was found. That is, until police went to the home of a 6th grader and found one there. Turned out it was not an explosive. Still, that 11-year-old is being charged with terrorizing. He was released to his parents as they await a later court date. Still ahead, right here tonight, we will go live to a very special dinner on this eve of this year's Dempsey Challenge. But first, they say they are the grease that keeps the University of Maine system's gears turning, but unionized workers say they've been doing their jobs without a contract for months. Is one in sight? We'll take a look next.